Pew, pew, pew. 14. Thumbs up flying off the screen. As we get started this evening, hello. Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone, our weekly live stream, the third hour of Primetime Guitar. I have been enjoying this. It's cool because it's better than watching the news. So, like, on Thursday afternoons, I will use the time to watch.
What's funny is it's not even the news time for a lot of people.
No, it isn't. But, well, it's better than Pat Sajak.
Yeah.
Pat Sajak has gotten a lot creepier in his old age. And
I think he always was.
Yeah, it's becoming more apparent. So, less Wheel of Fortune, more Primetime Guitar. And since Alex Trebek, R.I.P., passed away, I don't care about Jeopardy anymore. So, it's just Primetime Guitar now.
Here we are. Just once a week, though. What do you do the other days?
We don't really watch TV. We don't come home from work. Well, we are home from work. We don't stop work and then just let's sit in front of the television and do the... Somebody asked me the other day, they're like, what do you think about the guitar debacle? Apparently in Stranger Things, the wrong guitar was used in the wrong... Sort of like the Back to the Future thing. Yeah. And people were like, what do you think about that? That's so dumb. And I'm like, what's Stranger Things? I don't even... You've watched that show before. I don't even know. We don't really watch television that much. So we just watched Matt on Thursday. And I try to catch the end of Ike, but Ike is early for us because of the way the time zones work. So starts at 6 Eastern and goes all the way till us. So anyway, the way this works is you turn some questions in on Patreon or to YouTube members. Do that too. And I've got those over here that we're going to get into in just a minute. And then you also saw the thumbnail. I got the best and the worst guitars that I've gotten in a long time on the same day. It was sort of a weird accidental thing that happened. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're also going to address a couple of things. Maybe I'll just do this now. I made a couple of mistakes in a couple of videos this week. Not really mistakes. Last Thursday was absolutely a mistake. We're talking about comparing the fate that Super Chat.
Super chat from Paul McNary. Thank you for the super chat. He said, thanks for going to the post office today.
Oh, you are very welcome. Yeah, we're shipping stuff. Anyway, we got to go to the post office again tomorrow. So last week we were discussing the kind of comparing some good guitars. There's a Les Paul that you can get, the Tribute, for $12.99. And I was comparing it to the cheapest American Telecaster for $16.99, and actually that is incorrect because that that American Professional 2 is not the cheapest. I forgot about one. I forgot about the American Performer, but it's still more expensive than the Gibson one. And then a bunch of people jumped in the comments and they're like, well, you can't compare the most expensive Telecaster to the cheapest Les Paul. But see, you're wrong, and here's why. There is no comparison. The most expensive Telecaster will never, so that would be the Ultra Luxe, is $2,300 now. And it is still less than a Les Paul not because the Les Paul is too expensive, but because the Les Paul has binding, it has a carved top, it has 2 humbuckers, it has a set neck, it has a bound neck, it has a peg head cap, it has all the things that make an expensive guitar expensive. No Telecaster in that price range has that. So when you're taking the cheapest of this, you take the cheapest one, which would be, for example, let's make it apples to apples. The glossy Les Paul Studio for $1,500 versus the Tele Performer for $1,400. They're about the same money. And still the Les Paul has a carved top and has a bunch of things that the Tele doesn't. You can't there is no comparison between those guitars. That's why I take the cheaper Les Paul and compare it to a Tele, because it's more apples to apples. It's just a solid body guitar, um, not without all the fancy stuff on it that a normal Les Paul standard has. So I was wrong about that. I missed that. And then the other thing that we talked about yesterday in the news was Rex Brown, the Pantera bass player, came out with a signature model with Gibson, which I think is stupid, because why would Rex Brown be like, why would Gibson keeps coming out with these, what I consider to be not modernly relevant signature models, but they're doing it out of respect for the artist. I get that. That part I do understand. It totally makes sense. But Pantera was a weird one, because Pantera's not doing anything. Well, it turns out that about an hour after I did the news yesterday, or an hour after I shot the news yesterday, I think it was about the same time that I uploaded the news, after it was edited and everything, Phil Anselmo and Rex Brown announced that they are going to be touring as Pantera, which I do not endorse, will not support, and will not go to the shows. Because Pantera was Dime and Vinnie Paul. And Phil Anselmo too, and Rex Brown. But you can't have, in my opinion, and it's just an opinion, and somebody was like, you better not go to Texas, you're going to get assassinated. I don't care. In my opinion, you cannot have Pantera without the two passed on brothers. I just can't see that. I can't. So anyway, so I wanted to address those two things, because I either missed or was wrong about one or two of those things. So I'm going to try to do more of that. Like if we are wrong about stuff or miss details and stuff in the live streams, I'm going to start like saying, hey, I've missed this one thing. I think it's just better.
Okay.
So yeah. What's everybody else doing in the comments down there before we get to some comments? Some questions.
Just commenting.
Just commenting?
I mean, I grabbed some questions. So
Okay.
I don't know what you want
Let's
to
do the Patreon ones first, and then we'll get into some of your questions. And then we'll chat about the thumbnail, because it's exciting and weird.
Paul McNary.
That was a super chat from me.
Oh.
It puts it
You
over
get
there.
to display again. Let's try that again. Greg, do cable connection points add any significant relevant amount of capacitance? Like, if instead of a 3-foot cable, you had 3 1-foot cables and connected them with a couple of female-to-female quarter adapters, do you think there would be any appreciable difference, all other things being equal?
I know there is, because when we were making cables before, and I've talked to Austin about this too, the actual cable connector can add capacitance to the cable as well. And so it depends on the quality of the connector as to how much that is. We used a particular connector in our cables because the connector itself added less capacitance to the cable. So if you add a bunch of them, that can happen. If you have a good quality connector, like the stuff on the runway audio stuff, it will have less, but less connectors is always better for a lot of reasons, obviously. Failure points, failure points really. But yeah, it can. That's an interesting question. Nobody's ever asked that before.
Gary, with the Spark practice amps, did you save any of your preset equipment options to the Spark Cloud so others could download what you are using?
I have not, but maybe I should.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I have not. I'm using the stock stuff. Well, the Spark 40 has a bunch of custom stuff in it because I spent more time with it. The little baby one, the Spark Mini, there's one custom one in there that I made. I took like a Fender Twin sort of thing and made it sort of a little bit crunchy, or maybe it's a deluxe. It's a little bit crunchy, like edge of breakup sort of thing that I that I've been playing. So, and then I'm just using the stock stuff.
Zoltan. A few months in, how does the Silver Sky SE hold up against the Core? Any preference between the two very different trim systems? And if so, why? This time, I do actually mean to ask why.
That's funny. So a few months in, I sold the SE because, to be honest with you, it is a fantastic guitar. But if you have the situation where you can get it, the other one, get it. It's better in every way. Unless you have small hands, because that neck profile, that neck is fat. As far as the trim system goes, it's funny that you say that because my Fiore is hanging back there because we'll get into that in a minute, but that has a 2-post trim on it. But the 2-post trim on the Silver Sky is decked and the Fiore trim is floating. And I love it floated on the Fiore. It is fantastic and it works better than it floating on the Silver Skies because I've done them both and I like the Fiore one better. So I guess my answer would be the 6-screw trim is better in my opinion on the Silver Sky. I never floated the trim on the 6-screw on the American Silver Sky. And I was going to do it, but now that I have the Fiore, I don't need to because I have both of them. So, but yeah, that's a good question too. That green guitar was fantastic. So if you want to dip your toes without spending the $2,700 or whatever it is, definitely get it. You will not go wrong with it. It is amazing. And if you are considering it against a Mexican Stratocaster, do not buy the Strat. Buy the PRS. 100% skip the Strat. But between the American one and the Asian one, the American one's way better. Yep.
Jeff, what size fret leveling sanding beam do you most commonly use? I see several different lengths available. If I only get one, which length would be best?
Don't get what I have. It's too short. I don't do full fret jobs though. So I think a 14-inch is the normal one. If anybody else does more frets than me, get in the comments and help answer this to let them know what you have. I want to say like 14-inch or something like that. I have just this little, I think it's 8 or 10 inches or something that I use to just do spot repairs. And I like the fact that it's small because I don't need to get into frets that I don't need to repair, if that makes sense. If I'm only trying to fix one fret, the 3rd fret or whatever, I only need it to be this long to go a little bit both ways. I don't need to go all the way down here. So that's why I like using a short one, because I don't care about doing full fret jobs. So, full fret levels. Usually it's one of these cheaper guitars and you're fixing a fret or 2 or 3. So your needs will vary with that. And I think 14-inch, maybe 16-inch, something right in there is what a lot of people use.
That was all.
Cool. Yeah. Well, let me tell you a story about the best and the worst guitar that I've bought in a long time. Do we want to start with the best guitar first or the worst guitar first?
I think you typically start with the worst first so you can end with the best.
Okay.
It's like, unless it's like talking about personality,
No,
then you
how
lead
about-
with something positive so that you can say negative, but you still have to finish with a positive. But you only have two. So you have to
No,
choose.
but we're going to do this the other way then. Because it's pretty much a given and everybody's going to know, we're going to start with the best.
Okay.
Because everybody already knows. Because they saw the thumbnail. It's my PRS Fiore. That guitar is the best guitar I have ever had. Ever. It is so good. And not everybody will agree with me because, you might not like a single hum thing. You might not like PRSs. You might not like anything. you might just like different stuff. But here's what I'll say for me personally. My favorite thing, and if you follow the channel for a while, you will know that a single hum is my number one favoriteest thing in the world. Next to my Gibson SG Junior up there with one P90 in it, because I have to have a P90 guitar too. So between those two guitars right there, I don't know that I would ever need anything else. Just really, really, really good stuff. But as far as a Strat sort of thing, a double cut sort of thing, single hum has always been my 100% favorite. And if I was going to use any unconventional switching in a single hum, it would be turn the neck pickup on and the bridge pickup on at the same time. This guitar has that, and it is fantastic, and I love how it sounds. The neck is perfect. The neck is smaller than the Silver Sky, the American Silver Sky. It's more similar kind of actually to the SE Silver Sky. I don't care what color the neck is. A lot of people are like, I wish it had a rosewood fretboard. I'm like, I don't care. I don't want to get into tone wood debates or anything, but if you like dark fretboards or light fretboards, that's fine. I don't care as long as it looks cool, and this definitely looks cool. The guitar is unbelievable. The intonation is perfect. The setup is perfect. Everything about that guitar is perfect. There was not a thing I had to fix, nothing I had to adjust, no anything. I mean, I pulled it out of the case after being shipped across the country in less than 24 hours, because I always do that just to be a jerk. And it was perfect. Everything about it was perfect. Perfect. The guitar was perfect. There's only one thing that I may change on it very soon. And that is, actually, I meant to mention this. I want to do kind of like a mailbox section when people send us mail stuff towards the beginning. Highwood Saddles sent me a set of saddles, and I was going to put them in my Mexican Strat. But the one thing about this Fiore is the way it's set up, the screws, see how these screws are, how it like wraps around itself and the screws don't poke out the top? Mm-hmm. The Fiore has a little bit of pokiness to the screws. And I was like, if these fit, maybe I'll put them in there. So that might be a thing I do. I don't know though, because they don't really match, because those ones are a different color. So I'm not sure. That guitar is perfect. It's unbelievably good. There was a lot of talk in the comments this week about I would never buy a, what's that called? Signature model guitar. I don't care about, I don't idolize Mark Lettieri or anything, but dang, his guitar is good. And my point is, if I was going to build me a single signature guitar, it's very, very close to this guitar. It's so perfect for me that I absolutely love it. Okay, so that's that. We're going to have some videos. I'm going to compare it to the Silver Sky. There's some very interesting differences between the two guitars. They are not the same at all whatsoever. The body shape's different, the neck's different, the headstock is different, the tuners are different, the pickups are different, everything is different. It's not the same, and it is not just a single hum version of a Silver Sky. It doesn't even compare in any way at all. It looks sort of the same, but it's really, really a cool guitar. Okay, the worst guitar. And this is not, people think, this has been a thing that people have been getting in the comments and talking crap lately, that I don't like cheap guitars. And if you followed the channel for a long time, you'll know that while I am buying myself some kind of keepers that I'm not trading out a lot, the Silver Sky, the Gibson, this Mark Lettieri, those guitars aren't going to kind of flip over. A lot of times, like right now, we have the Silver Strat that we bought for some projects on the channel. Those guitars will flip over. I'll sell them to you when I'm done with them. That sort of thing.
Jeff McRickard saw the sun first.
Did he?
Just for the record.
Did he?
Yeah.
Yeah, we landed on the moon. Yeah, so those guitars kind of come and go. And I love them, and they're really fun. But I am buying myself, because we have a place to live now and we're not living in a motorhome. I have some space, so I'm buying myself some nice guitars that I've always kind of wanted. I don't know if you guys have watched the Texas Toast live stream before this.
Spammers.
We got some spammers. Oh, we do. I see them. Talking about kind of your dream guitars and what could you get if you could get them. I have a little bit of a list, and so I've been kind of getting a couple of those. That doesn't mean I don't like cheap guitars, though. I really enjoy buying less expensive instruments and fixing them up and modding them and talking about the stuff on the channel. I bought this thin line telly, this white thin line telly that we used the other day in a video. The quality of classic vibe and made in Mexico instruments from Fender and Squire, the quality is falling off like a rock. The stuff is just not good. And when I say not good, they can't be played out of the box most of the time. Most of the time. Now, I know you're going to get in the comments and be like, yeah, I bought one, blah, blah, blah. So there's a couple things we should address here. One, if you have had a Squire guitar, a classic vibe Squire, for more than 3 or 4 years, chances are it was not made in the same plant that they're made in today, because it used to be made in China and now they're made in Indonesia. The Indonesian ones are not as good. The Chinese ones are better. And they're getting worse. This thing had runs in the paint. It had terrible frets. It had a ground cable that wasn't even tight, like it was just like flopping around in there. It had a bad tuner. It had, I mean, I'm not even complaining about, I'm not even being a snob about like the pickups suck, so we need to change them. But they do, and we did. I'm talking about the actual quality of the instrument. And I know that there will be, and I guess the reason I'm bringing it up is just look. When you go to the store, just look real close. Just make sure that if you buy them online, make sure that it's to a place with a good return policy. And that there's some availability there so that if you really want that guitar, that you can get another one. You know, like if Sweetwater has bunches of them in stock and you get a bad one, send it back and get another one. And the reason I'm bringing this up is not to complain about any one brand. It's to make sure that you take responsibility. Now, I don't do this because, well, let me just say, make sure you take responsibility for yourself, complain about the instrument, get the return, get a better guitar. Because they will never get better if we don't hold them to it. If you just get the guitar and say, there's a little problem, I'm just going to fix it, they'll just keep shipping bad guitars. But if they're every store has a stat that they look at, and it is return percentage. It's return percentage for, I didn't like the guitar, but there's also return percentage for the guitar was crap. And they have a return percentage with the manufacturer as well. They have guitars that they've got that you never even saw because they just sent them back. So, and the other thing I would say is don't buy from Guitar Center, because, and I'm not like, I guess I wouldn't bag on a company, but man, every guitar that I buy from Guitar Center is just trash. Because I think they let too much stuff get onto the wall. Okay, so I think they don't check them enough. The guitars that I buy from Sweetwater, every time I get them, they're fine. And I know that people have varied experiences with Sweetwater, but I don't. I've had really good experiences with Sweetwater, except I actually had a bad amp very recently.
It went bad.
It went bad.
Get a bad amp.
Yes, it went bad a week after I got it. And so we had to swap that out. So just really make sure that you check that stuff over. That's why I talk about the best and the worst, is because you're going to have the great experiences where you get a guitar and it's going to be awesome. But if it's not awesome, make sure you take them to task on it. You don't have to be a jerk about it, because this kind of stuff happens. But if we don't do that, they're just going to keep making bad guitars. The reason Gibson's making good guitars now, better guitars, is because they had to fix it, because there was enough negative press where people complained. I really feel like it has switched. I feel like Gibson is making a better guitar than Fender is making right now. In this price point. Anything from The Squire's up to about $1,500. The American stuff seems fine, but the Mexico stuff and the Squire stuff just it needs some work. Your mileage may vary. Obviously, I'm not speaking for every guitar because obviously I can't. They're making thousands of them, but every month. But just keep an eye out and say something about it and don't settle. Yeah. So, and I know there will people get in there and be like, yeah, you could buy this other Chinese knockoff brand. There's 5 million other Chinese knockoff brands that are better than Squires. But I don't typically, as you know, spend much time on the intellectual property thieves of the world, and we look more at the main brands because they are the ones that carry the industry for the most part. So that's why. But anyway, what's everybody saying now that I got them all riled up?
We talked a lot about the porn bots and how dumb they were for not knowing their audience, because if they came in and were like, click here to look at guitar picks, everybody would leave.
That's true too.
So, but apparently it's AI, and the AI is not very smart, so who knows? But do
you keep having to block them? Right on. Do we have any questions, actually?
Yeah, I'll grab some questions.
Let's do it. Do I need to keep... Well, you'll do it. Let's go for it.
All right. So there's some statements and some questions in here.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Egan said, I never had a P90 guitar before, and now I have 3, and they all have Dylan's P90s.
Awesome. Thank you.
Windsurf Maui said, I think if you own 2 high-priced PRS guitars, you're no longer a Strat guy. So is there one of the PRS guitars that you like better? Why?
Oh, the Fiore is freaking amazing. And I still am a Strat. My first guitar was a Strat, and I still have it. And I have another Strat. And they are different. But the PRS stuff is just better, man. It is just better. However, I don't have a good Fender Strat. If I could go up to Casino and shop at Casino Guitars for a Strat, then I would probably play a Strat a lot.
Would you make a video like they did?
Yes.
The little walk through the shop?
We should do that anyway.
That is a really nice shop. So I was just thinking, when they did it, I was like, oh, I'm glad everybody... maybe they've done it before, but I was just like, everybody should see this place.
It is the best.
It's
awesome. The best guitar store in the country, in my opinion. Anyway, what else?
Shane Philosopher says, when ordering a custom pickup, what is the best way to describe what we want? I assume saying, I want to sound like Jimmy Page doesn't help.
Yeah, artists don't help as much. I would say, here's what I ask for. I want to know what your rig is. I want to know what amp you play. I want to know, do you play a Blues Junior? What are your, Blues Junior with a tube screamer and a this? And do you play mostly at home? Do you play live? And more so that. Because I can a lot of times tell, and how do you use it? So do you leave your boost on all the time? Do you play a little bit dirty all the time? Do you want something really clean? Do you play higher gain? Do you play with this pedal on all the time? Those are the kind of things that I like to know. I like to know more about the rig than the sound, who you're trying to sound like. Because to be honest with yourself, you're not sounding like whoever that is. But you're trying to make a sound, and you're trying to be a person. So I don't care about making somebody sound like Slash. If you want Slash pickups, go buy Slash pickups. Or Jimmy Page. There's tons of Jimmy Page pickups out there. Just go buy them. My thing is...
Are you going to sound like Jimmy Page?
No. You're going to sound like you. So I want to know what you want to sound like you. So then we work on that. And my thing is... we don't need 16 different models of Strat pickups to get you there. We need 2 good models of Strat pickups, and you will get there. And it's just a matter of understanding the rig and that sort of stuff. That's a good question, though.
Jeffrey McRickard wants to know what you drinking.
And
sorry if you answered already. He got on just in time when you answered his question.
Talisker Storm tonight. Oh, no. This is just regular Talisker. This is not Talisker Storm. Yep.
Martian Murray wants to know, do you make Jazzmaster type pickups?
Yes. In fact, there's one right there on the floor. That's where I'm keeping it.
Good. Windsurf Maui says, sorry, but your Strat credentials have been revoked.
I don't care what you think. I don't, because I love Stratocasters. I want to do a video. You know I'm messing with you, Windsurf. Windsurf is always cantankerous about his comments, and I like him because he takes you to task.
Cantankerous?
Well, he takes you to task and makes you really explain yourself when he asks questions, and I do like that. I'm going to do a video about why I think the PRS Silver Sky is better than a Strat. And it's not that I like a Strat any less, but there are engineering improvements that should be made. The peg head on a Strat is wrong. It looks better, but it's wrong. So, yeah, I want to do some stuff about that. And I know that people will say your credentials have been revoked, but that's tradition talking over actually playing.
I didn't even know you had Strat credentials.
I don't either. I wish I would have kept the badge or whatever you get.
Greg, we'll make you a certificate. We can put them on the wall.
Dude.
Greg Burge. Thanks for helping me decide on a Telecaster bridge pickup and pots today. I put my order in a little while ago.
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Peter Straub. Hi, Dylan. How important is brake angle over the bridge from the tailpiece? Recently changed my Bigsby to model without tension bar, resulting in pretty flat brake angle. Haven't had an issue yet, just curious.
I don't like that. I like the brake angle of having the bar in there. But if you're not having problems, then you're not having problems. And that goes for anything in guitar land. If you play the guitar and it's doing what you want it to do, then don't worry about what I say or anybody else on the internet. If it's working, just use it. If you start to have stuff sliding around and everything, put the bar back in.
So I'm going to skip right to Gretch Zeppelin's comment because it made me laugh.
Gretch Zeppelin. Sweet name.
Dylan, did you purposely coordinate the colors of your shorts, shirt, and hat today?
Absolutely.
That was the question I asked him. I don't even remember what he had on, but we had to run out earlier, and we passed as we were getting ready, and I was like, dude, did you just coordinate all this on purpose?
I'm not going to go out and not match.
And he was very proud of it.
Now, the one thing we don't do, because people ask us this, because we will accidentally coordinate between each other. Like, especially if we're going to dress up to go out or something. Sometimes.
What does that mean? We both have on black? That seems impossible.
I guess. But I mean, sometimes that happens, but we do not do that. We're not that nerdy. But yeah, I mean, I want to match.
Box Guitars Rock said, anything on the whiteboard today? There's definitely something there.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody already spotted it.
Yep.
Jeff wants to know, are those shorts or a Speedo?
They're shorts.
Or banana hammock is what he said next.
No, they're shorts.
They're shorts.
North Face shorts.
All right. Chris Hendricks said, I'm excited to see some content from the Fiore. Can a fella have a Fiore switching scenario in a Strat guard?
Yeah. So here's what I'm going to tell you. This is the first time ever that I've bought a guitar ever in my life that I like the pickups so much that I want to make my version of them and not the other way around. Every guitar I've ever owned, I've played and said, I wish there was something different. And I make a set of pickups to fix that problem, including the American Silver Sky, even though that guitar got stock pickups in it. But I knew the moment I played the Fiore at Sweetwater a year ago that this was the perfect guitar. It's so crazy. It's so good. To the point that...
How far away were we? Like 2.5 hours?
Yeah, we were 2.5 hours.
And he made me go back the next day. Like, you have to come see
I was like, this guitar is so good. He was like, you have to come see this guitar. And people ask all the time, I can't believe your wife lets you buy whatever you want. Or, my wife doesn't want... She always...
interrupts him.
Yeah.
Thank you for the super chat. Thomas Torville. He says, still love my red Dylan guitar the most. It's so good. Thanks again.
And Thomas, your pick guard is complete and sitting right there, and it's going out in the mail tomorrow.
Not on the floor. How about that?
No, it's not on the floor. It's sitting back there on the app. Leslie's criteria, she'll ask me sometimes, what content will we get with this guitar? And most of the time that's because it needs this modification, it needs that modification. We're going to put these pickups in it. And those pickups will obviously help us sell pickups because that's how we make a living here. And we went there that day and she asked me that, and I'm like, she's like, what should we fix? What can be fixed? What can we improve? How will this guitar serve the business? And I'm like, I have nothing to say. It won't, because it's perfect and there's nothing to change. And I have no excuse to buy this guitar right now. And we left, and that's why I didn't buy it, because it's that good. That being said, I found some things. There's going to be some pickups. Don't worry, it's coming. But the only reason I ended up getting it is because we did the news and they came out with that blue, and I was like, right away, I was like, order. And it was supposed to be here in October. It took me 9 months to get it, and it was supposed to be another few months before I actually got it, and it showed up early. So that's why there's the big fire sale, selling some amps and some guitars and stuff, because it kind of came at an unexpected time. So, but whatever. I don't care. It's cool.
Vox Guitars Rock says, love your deep dive on the wide range pickups, Dylan. Thanks.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, so it's wide range season. Somebody said that in the comments.
Oh, I like that.
They're like, you need to say something or have a thing that says wide range season open.
Yeah, till the end of the month.
Till the end of August. Because we didn't do it until halfway through the month, and there's a lot.
Y'all got some bonus time.
Yeah, a lot of people really want. I forgot to tell you that. A lot of people really want it, so it ended up being 6 weeks instead of 2, because I wanted people to have time. So here's how this works. You go to the website, you click on it, you order the service. It's $109, I think. And because we're actually replacing the bobbins now, we're not using the old bobbins anymore. I figured out a way, and it's just going to work out better, and they sound better. So that's a change this year. So the only original parts of your pickup will be the base plate, the cover, and the screw pulls that go in it. Everything else will be new. You will order it from the website. As soon as I get the order, I send you an email with where to send the stuff. You send it to me, and then we redo it, and then we send it back to you. But you have to get it in by the end of August, because it's wide range season closes at the end of August.
Cool. Sunny Soul says, have you tried the new Ibanez GRX 120 SP? I did today. Really good guitar for under $200.
I have not tried that guitar. That has been on my list to buy for a project and do some stuff on it. And I've seen it, but I have not done it.
Mike Adams says, what would be the best pickups to get a blues tone? I have a Vester Stratocaster playing straight into a Fender Blues DeVille 410.
Definitely. And there's probably a bunch of people in the comments that can attest to this that I know have tried these pickups. Our Strat Classic 5 set at DylanTalksTone.com. Kind of low output, stratty, super vintagey stratty kind of feel to them. And they're really cool. I like them a lot. That's actually what I have. I do have 2 Fender Strats, actual Fender Strats. And that's what I have in both of them because they're so good.
All right. We're going to go backwards and catch a few more comments that weren't really questions.
Okay.
But if you have more questions, get them in because we still have 20 minutes to go and we're all caught up.
Yep.
Fox Guitars Rock said, weird factoid. I don't like Strats much, but when I play out and I look down, I'm almost always playing my Strat. Weird.
That's really funny.
That is funny.
That's really funny.
Well,
we were laughing the other day because I don't really care about signature guitars. Like I'm not I have to have. She actually asked me the other day. She's like, is there a signature model guitar that you would buy because of the artist? Because I don't really care about, obviously, John Mayer's good, but I'm not like, I'm not the John Mayer fan.
Right. I didn't even know who the other guy was until we looked him up.
Mark Lettieri. Yeah. But the guitar is so good. The Silver Sky is just so good.
Because let's just be honest with him. So he took me to show me this guitar. And I don't know who this guy is. That was even before we had all these signature talks. So I don't know that I understood what a signature guitar was for.
Yeah.
And in my mind, as we're walking around Sweetwater, I'm like, why doesn't it get Slash?
Why don't I get a Slash guitar? Yeah. So I didn't care really about, I don't care about signature stuff for the purpose of it being a signature, unless the guitar is really good. If the guitar is good, I want the guitar for the sake of the guitar itself. And now I have 3 signature guitars. I have the John Mayer guitar, I have the Mark Lettieri guitar, and I have the Machine Gun Kelly guitar. And to be honest with you, the of all the guitars I have right now, the electric ones that I play the most are the Machine Gun Kelly and the Mark Lettieri. The Machine Gun Kelly Telecaster is freaking unbelievable. It's such a good guitar.
Who built their own version?
Somebody in the Zoltan did.
Was it Zoltan?
Mm-hmm.
I just know it was somebody
in the group,
that was
in the Facebook group.
Here.
Yeah, he made a Strat version.
That is so cool. I'm just glad he did the understring thing. That's one of my favorite things.
Yeah, the lines on it. Yeah, it's cool.
Shane says the dude who owns a Silver Sky and MGK.
Yeah, I didn't even do it on purpose, but the guitars were so good. I really got lucky on my Silver Sky because that was in stock when I ordered it. The other 2 I had to wait almost a year for.
Mike Adams says, do you have any guitars for sale yourself or tube amplifiers? I'm in the market for a new guitar and amp, and I'm going to go to your website and check out those Strat pickups.
I have a Strat for sale right now that is really good. It is a made in Mexico Player Series Strat that has been completely gone through. The frets are good. Everything's good. We've done a bunch of, it was the one that we did the Silver Sky SE comparison videos with. And it was not good when I got it, but it's perfect now. It's fantastic. And it's got new pickups in it. And I think my intention was when the folks at Highwood told me they were going to send me some saddles. These Highwood saddles are going to go in that Strat too. So go to the contact thing on the website, send me an email, and I'll give you a deal on that guitar because that guitar needs to go. And we have a bass too.
Matthew Perkins, thank you for the super chat. Matthew says, the only thing I don't like about my Strat is the volume pot position. I constantly am fixing the volume because it gets moved accidentally a lot.
So here's what you do. Go to your local Home Depot and get, I believe it is a 1/4 inch inside diameter O-ring, like a rubber O-ring. Take your volume pot off. Slide it down over the shaft of the pot. Put the knob back on and push it down. Get the O-ring thick enough to where it like binds it up sort of. Then push the knob back down and it will make it to where you actually have to like reach down there and actually turn the knob. So because it will put this little rubber gasket between the pick guard and the knob, or the, you know, like the chassis of the pot and the knob, and it'll make it harder to turn. And then that way you can set it wherever you want it and then just leave it. You can still turn it. It won't lock it up, but it will make it to where you don't accidentally bump it anymore. There's a little fix.
So there was some, oh, let me cancel that thought, and because I know we have another super chat.
Oh, thank you for the super chat.
Super chat from Mr. Goat. Thank you for the super chat. He says, can you talk about what a P90 with DAF guitar would sound like? I'm having a baby tomorrow. Not me, but mama. Good seeing you and the regulars. Much love. And I also saw him further comment. He was like, girl cat meets girl baby coming soon.
Dude, that's cool.
That's so
Congratulations, man. Yeah, congratulations. That's really cool. Oh, so he's having a daughter because girl cat meets girl baby. I was going to ask that, but I just realized that the information
So P90 with DAF. That's his question.
I really like a PAF, like our DAF in the bridge, in the neck, and a P90 in the bridge. That is really, really cool. And I think I want to say some Reverends and stuff come like that, right? That's a really cool concept. Is a DAF in the neck and a P90 in the bridge. That's what I would do.
Well, and we have some dirty talk from your example. Slide it down over the shaft.
Of course, because that's
guitar
the way guitar talk is
dirty.
Shafts and pot and.
So there was some lingering talk about
my shorts.
No. Signature guitars. Jeffrey Egan said the only thing about signature guitars that interests me is the specs.
Mm-hmm.
And then somebody, they keep coming. So somebody else, Shane said if the artist actually plays their signature model, I'll consider buying.
Yeah,
that's a good point.
Actually all three guitars that I have, the artist actually plays it. John Mayer plays the Silver Sky. Machine Gun Kelly actually plays that guitar. Well, on this latest tour, he has been playing that one. The previous tour, he was playing one with two humbuckers, but now he's playing this one. And Mark Lettieri almost exclusively now plays this guitar that he's got here. Yeah, and a version that you buy is the same one that he plays. Corey Wong is another example. When it's a guitar that isn't really what you're buying, that's kind of a bummer.
Big D Bear Killer says, I just looked at the Fiore, and don't you think for $2,700 a guitar should have some bling? It's just plain Jane. I don't make anything but pretty guitars because anybody can make a plain Jane one.
You know, I don't know. I
think that's the difference between like people who like clean vehicles and people who like chromed out vehicles. Like it's just a different taste.
So that's an interesting point, and I'll give you the counterpoint to that. Not I don't mean this in a confrontational way. It's just a taste thing. My counterpoint to that is, this is the first PRS that I've ever liked because it's not fancy. Mm-hmm. Because it's not all weird looking wood, and you paint everything black. I could care less about fancy wood on a guitar. That being said, I will probably buy a CE24 PRS at some point just to have one. But I don't care about, I would rather have a gold top than a burst.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, this one just looks really clean and simple. Yeah. Even no pick guard. Like, it just... Yeah. It is pretty. I mean,
get what you're saying.
You might think it's plain, but it's pretty.
Mm-hmm. It is. And there's, what's cool too is there's details in it that are neat. You know, the inlays are cool because they're outlines instead of solid. And I don't know. I totally get what you're saying. I like both ways, but I like simple.
But you bought it for specs.
I bought it for specs.
And the color.
and the color.
The color.
The other thing too is, if you factor in that between $300 and $700, I would say probably in this case, I bet it's about $500 of that guitar is just the premium for the fact that it's a signature model. So, you know that like Mark Lettieri gets a royalty off of that. So if you subtract that off of there, now it's a $2,400 to $2,500 guitar, which is just an American-made Super Strat really at that point. So it's really kind of right in there. I know that I'm spending a few $100s because it has somebody's name on it. I don't care about that. And I hope that you buy stuff with my name on it and we make a premium product. So, you know, our pickups are a premium product. So I respect that. That's why it doesn't bother me to give it to somebody else, because I'm expecting somebody to give that to me. So, you know, I look at it differently than other people. A lot of people are like, I wouldn't pay that much money because it's just extra money for somebody, you know. And I mean, we're all trying to make money, so I need that. And musicians, you know, to make money off of a royalty thing, that's part of their income, especially these days. So, you know.
I was trying to help connect two people that are trying to connect, but I don't know where one of them is either.
Oh,
so
okay.
I couldn't help.
You're trying to help somebody in the comments connect with somebody else?
Yeah, but right I couldn't find him either. Headley21 says, do you accommodate any custom pickup orders? For example, type of magnets, number of windings, wire gauge, etc.
Within reason, yes. Absolutely. The way to do that would be, so one of the things I won't do for, if you're going to order like $1,000 worth of stuff, like if you're going to order a bunch of pickups, you know, like 5 sets or 10 sets, then I will basically treat you as a vendor and we will go through this whole thing and we will design a set of pickups and all that. And that's a whole nother story. If you just want a set of pickups built to your spec, it helps me a lot if you come to me with that spec. It's hard for me to take the time. This sounds kind of crappy, but just hear me out. It's hard for me to take the time to go back and forth on one set of pickups a bunch of times with a bunch of emails to try to spec something out, because oftentimes there's something that we already make that will get you to that sound anyway. And so if you come to me with a spec and say, look, I need this many winds, this magnet, blah, 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 I need them in black, I'll do it for you. If you come to me with a spec and it's all done and it's normal parts that we can buy, not some crazy custom thing that I have to order one of and it's $1 billion. If it's normal stuff that we stock, magnets and all that, I won't even charge you extra. It'll be like normal price for a humbucker, normal price for a P90, etc. 90% of the time I'm going to talk you out of that, because it has been my experience that most people are reaching for a spec that falls within the spec of something else. Mm-hmm. It's been my experience.
And if anybody has that skill, it's him.
What?
To be able to understand, like, well, this is the spec and these are the things, and you're like, okay, well, you want to sound like this, so you just buy this.
Yeah, so what you're looking for is this. We already make this.
Yeah.
Because I have this...
We used to make tons and tons of things.
We did.
But the more variants you have, the more confusing it is. Mm-hmm. And when you realize that...
For you, the more confusing it is.
Confusing for us, too, for parts management. But when you realize what people are buying, what people want, I mean, it's just a few things.
Yeah, really. What's interesting is that you can look at some brands. There are some, and I'm not going to mention names because I don't want to call anybody out because I don't want to sound negative, but some brands will have 3 different sets of tele pickups or 3 different sets of 5, 6 different sets of tele pickups or Strat pickups or humbuckers. And there are these little variances on each other. And 90% of the people that play those pickups don't know that if you build a pickup a certain way that you can get 3 into 1, 4 into 1.
Versatility.
Versatility, yeah. And don't just do a one trick pony like that. My thing is, if you can make a pickup that goes from here all the way to here, then why do you need 3 models? If one goes here, one goes here, and one goes here, just make the one that goes all the way from here to here. That's kind of my philosophy on how we make pickups. So
Yep.
We'll get you sorted. I'll get you something you like. I promise.
So just to follow up, Big D Bear Killer said, you're right. It is subjective, and it has nothing to do with how it plays. And
Nope.
I love lots of chrome. That's what.
Oh, yeah.
I love it.
Chrome is, I get it.
I love it.
I would do chrome on...
I'd probably pick a little blingier than you would. But the sparkly guitar next to your blue guitar is... I like the blue one.
That's what we should make a video.
Oh, gosh. When you get that look on your face, it's going to be bad.
We should make a video where we go to the music store and you pick out a rig
based on
pretty. What you think it should look like or be.
That's
and
tough.
Then we put it together and we play it and see if we can make it sound good.
That sounds like a terrible idea.
Because it might be awesome. You might just even accidentally pick the right stuff and it might be amazing. Or we might or put together like a $6,000 guitar and a $200 Spider Jam or something. That would be...
I don't know anything about amps.
No, I know. I know. That would be fun. Do you think we should do that? Put it in the comments and let me know. I already know what you're going to say. I think it would be a great video. Can you buy a guitar not knowing anything based on looks alone and get a good sound? I bet it can be done.
Terrible idea.
I bet in 2022, and it would prove the point that I know that it can be done. I know that it can. We'll have to try.
All right. TJ Fulton. Do you like the US Gibson Epiphone Casino guitar?
Yes.
Windsurf Maui. Sounds like there's going to be a podcast broadcast from the Maryland factory in the near future.
Yeah, they've been doing that on and off, and I like it. I've been paying attention to those.
We have 3 minutes. Chip Crooks. Dylan. In a world full of guitar That sounds like a great introduction. Mm-hmm. In a world full of guitar podcasts and videos. I really didn't need another one to follow, but I really enjoy your content. You got me.
Thanks, dude. We actually have a podcast, too, that we're firing back up here momentarily.
Steve Brenton. So I was trying to connect people. Steve Brenton said, can you connect me with someone in the comments who can help me find a girl? That's funny.
We had to block all those people.
There's an AI bot for that, apparently.
Exactly.
All right. Windsurf Maui said, on that mini amp you reviewed recently, the bass speaker is facing the bottom. Do they have a way to tilt it to get the full speaker effect?
It's designed to do that. You don't even need to do that. It's made that way for a reason, and it sounds awesome. I've been playing that thing every night. I love that thing.
He has. I can attest that he's been playing it every night.
Yep.
Because he doesn't play it with headphones.
Nope. Nope.
All right. You have 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Super chats, comments. Thanks for joining us on Prime Guitar Live. Prime Time Guitar. Whatever. Thursday. Maybe one day somebody will be after us so we could just continue the journey.
If you have been waiting for humbuckers or P90s, there is a pile of them right here. And we are now caught up. Do not be afraid to order from us because you will get your stuff in a reasonable amount of time.
Don't be afraid.
Yeah, no, the whole going to Colorado thing really made me crazy. And then we got busy again and stuff.
Like Adam said, if you do that, she can't Google anything about the amps or anything. She has to just go at the spur of the moment and just pick it out. And that would be a good video. Okay. I mean, I wouldn't know what to Google anyway, honestly. I don't play, y'all.
Yeah, this is a great video.
Jeff Williams, is there any way I could get a schematic for a humbucker single coil? Humbucker
yes. It is called, hang on.
Has anyone heard from Bard in Australia?
No, and she stopped Patreon. Yeah, I just noticed it. I was actually going to send her an email
Yeah,
and make
you
sure
should
she was
email.
okay. She's awesome.
Mr. Goat said I haven't heard from Bart for a month. Yeah, maybe we need to check on.
Yeah, maybe we should. Hang on, I'm going to give you the
Thank you.
guitar wiring diagram website. That is
I feel like that
awesome.
was Ivan that brought it up. Yeah, thanks, Ivan.
Thanks, Ivan, for saying something about that.
Richard Lewis says that's why you got to train the old lady.
No, I'm not even going to address that.
We don't use that term here.
No.
And I don't need to be trained on anything.
No.
It's about balance.
No. Yeah.
We're symbiotic
Stupid.
over here.
Yeah.
All right. Did you find something?
Find it. Hang on. We have to find it because it's going to.
Fox Guitars Rock said, "Does the guitar color need to match your clothes? Would that improve my tone?" You don't have any orange guitars. Why don't you have an orange guitar? You who got the orange guitar?
We had two orange. No, we had one orange guitar. It is in Texas. It was Lamborghini orange, and it was a single P90.
That was a good-looking guitar.
That was a good-looking guitar. GuitarElectronics.com. Nope, that's not it. Yep, that is it. GuitarElectronics.com.
Jeff, that's for you.
They sell a bunch of wiring kits and stuff, but they have a really good database of wiring.
Oh, he wants
schematics.
You to train me to clean the chrome.
Oh, no.
Maybe he's not talking about me. Maybe he's talking about somebody else cleaning chrome.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that either.
No.
Just saying.
I'm not cleaning chrome. That's why I don't have it.
Cool.
Awesome.
Thoughts on the Player Plus Nashville Telly?
Cool. Yeah, Player Plus stuff's good. Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody.
1 minute over.
This was great. Make sure you check out our videos coming out Monday and Wednesday and next Thursday. We've got some pretty cool stuff. Like I said, if you're waiting on pickups, there's a big pile right here.
Going out.
And they're going out tomorrow. And if you want to order anything from us, you can become a YouTube member down there or a Patreon member and get 10% off. And what that means is that it's $5 to join Patreon, and you get 10% off. And that's like $25 off a set of humbuckers.
How many Patreon members do you have right now? Is it easy to
40,
pull up?
I do.
Can you just show it to me?
Right.
You got a list?
Oh, we got a new one.
You got a list?
No.
Oh.
I mean, I have a list, but I can't do it here.
Oh, never mind.
Yes. So, yeah. So, if you hit the join button, YouTube members or Patreon members, I actually made a post today for Patreon members and put up for new people because I knew a lot of new people were going to be joining.
Yep.
For the discount code, it's on there. So you get 10% off. It'll save you a bunch of money. And honestly, if you sign up for 1 or 2 months and quit just because you wanted pickups, I don't care. It doesn't bother me at all. I mean, I'd love for you to stick around, but it does not bother me if you just use it for the discount code.
You'll just have to hang out with them live.
Yep, because we're going to